Good morning, oh, don't mind the trash. Good morning.
Do we wear the sandals today? Do we wear those? Do we wear those or do we wear those? Easy decision.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the farm and welcome to a beautiful 75-degree Iowa fall day. All right, skid loader. We need the skid loader. Where's the skid loader? Ta-da! It's good to see we have fixed the door handle. There's skid loader. Lights. Hold on just a second. This is not our John Deere Z970R. What is this one doing in here? That looks like a brand new unit. I just realized this, but Zach and Cooper must have fixed the edge of the door. We got a windstorm a while ago and it bowed the door in like a banana. And so when he went to open it, it was super hard. But they built these reinforcements right here on the side. And I guess they straightened it out when they did it because now you can open it all the way. Because before you could only get it to like right here. Seriously, what is this lawnmower doing in here? That's not ours. In here, you might as well sit on it. Ooh, that's comfortable. Our John Deere lawnmower is a 2008. This is a brand new one, and the joysticks are the same. These buttons are the same. They honestly feel the same. The little foot stopper brake thingy, that's a little different. Ours doesn't have these little Harley bars right here, which I'm not really sure why they're there. Maybe this is the short person package, so it's closer to you, so then your legs would actually be touching something instead of dangling and letting them fall asleep. Throttle's same, choke's same, key looks like it's the same. That little thing right there is the same. This is just a little bit different, but the underneath, looks eerily similar. And ours does not have that. So here's the plan of attack for today. We got about a half an inch of rain last night, so a little bit sticky to do anything in the dirt. It's too wet to be out in the fields right now. Stuff is just about ready to harvest. So winter is just creeping right around the corner. We got those tanks right there that have liquids inside of them that cannot freeze. Those need to go over into the heated shop. Problem is, the inside of the heated shop is, well, we'll just put it this way. It's not full, but you can't really get much stuff in here right now. This shop is not done yet. We have a little bit of wiring stuff that needs to be done. We need to get those center two lights of wiring hooked up because we have the electricity hooked up wrong with too small of wires to be able to run everything. So we have to tear everything down up there to get that fixed, but that is for another day. We just need to get this thing where we can basically get stuff in until after harvest. So we're gonna try to get everything in the middle. We're gonna get everything over to the wall so that way we have full space to actually drive all the way to the back. So to whoever invented the skid loader, I thank you very much. We're about to make this job a whole lot easier. Before we get started working up inside of there, I am over here on the edge of my yard in the unexplored grove area. I need to do just a little bit of plowing around, kind of like right in here. See that tree branch sitting out in the field? That's why I don't like having trees. Every time the wind blows heavy, all these bad boys just go sending some pieces out there. You got to get out of the combine seat. Unacceptable. All right, let's find a place to get in here. I don't even know where we can go. I've never driven a piece of equipment in here before. I'm hoping right here. Disculpe! About 15 seconds in, I found a big old tree in the way. So do we grab the stump bucket grapple pincher thingy, or do we grab the grapple bucket? On top of hammers, another thing we don't have over at my house is rags. No paper towels, no blue shop rags. We have gloves, and it's usually just a right-handed one because Dad and I are left-handed, and so usually the left-handed one gets taken off and gets set somewhere, and so we just have a bunch of extra right-handed ones. So that is going to be our rag. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Got it. Perfecto. Not gonna lie, we've had this glove for 10 years and this is the first time I have ever used it. Look at this, I literally have a full-size tree in here. I have two of them. We're just manhandling it. So we're gonna try to clear this little area right here, basically just kind of what's surrounded by trees, so that way we can plant a singular tree in it. When Dave and I got married, we had some friends give us a tree. Well, they're actually bringing it tomorrow, so I'm just gonna clear this little area out right here. This is where we're gonna plant the tree. This area is going to be fixed up. It looks a little rough right now. We're planting the tree a little preliminary, but we're gonna be clearing all this stuff out here, all the dead stuff, all the tall brush and whatnot. So it's gonna look nice and groomed, and it's gonna look nice with a tree over here. I'm not going to lie, there was a whole lot less chunks of wood in here than I thought. There's a lot that are rotten, like this, which the mower basically just gnawed right through them. Didn't even hardly know they were there. Got a bigger one right there that I couldn't get, but I could push it out of the way. A little bigger area cleared out than I kind of thought I would be able to. Now that everything is cleared up on that side, it looks like we've always had access to this particular spot, but this has always been like horse weeds, 10 feet tall and thick trees. You couldn't even walk through it. It was just so thick, full of weeds and trees and everything else. So now that we get everything cleared up on that side of this little weed wall, it makes it feel like we've been able to be over here forever, but I have physically never stood where I'm standing right now. This is kind of cool. Those emerald ash borers did a number on the grove. There are a lot of dead trees. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 100 dead ash trees in here. We got 2 right here that are right next to us. You can usually tell if it's an ash tree. The bottom will still be alive. There'll still be some foliage on it like that. And then the top will be completely dead. So that's kind of the case with what's going on over here. All of these are ash trees, completely dead. When we were working over here, we were going to tear all of these down. We decided not to because some of them are still half alive, but they have since died. Bark is starting to fall off, so it's just a matter of time before they're going to end up falling over. And then I got a couple other ones in here. And then one of these is a mulberry tree, which the raccoons like to eat, and they're messy, and there's 100 million of these in the state of Iowa, so I'm not offended taking this one out. And then this is like an old oak tree. I don't know what kind. Whatever this leaf is right here. Maybe that's not oak. I think that's oak. But it looks like it has been through a few storms. There's some broken stuff on the bottom, broken stuff on top. It's starting to get kind of not moldy, mossy. This whole limb right here looks like it's starting to hollow up on the top. So if we're tearing all these down, I'm just gonna start fresh in this area, get these ones down. And then we'll probably plant the tree somewhere. Maybe in here. I should probably clear just a little bit more of this back. I don't know what kind of tree we're getting. They're going to surprise me with them. I told them I wanted a redwood, but I guess those don't grow in Iowa. And this is not a last minute thing. I've known about it for like a year. They just asked if they could come out tomorrow to bring it. So I hadn't had an area done to put it. I don't want to put it up by the house. I got all the trees out of there. I like an open yard. I like not having to mow around stuff. This is going to be more of a recreational area where we're not going to be mowing it all the time. It's just going to be more for maintaining it, keeping weeds under control and little trees from growing. But I like this to be a little bit more of a natural habitat area for animals to run. It's just kind of cool to be able to look out your window and see stuff in your yard because you have a nice place to live. Honestly, getting inside of here and getting some of these big weeds out might help with some habitat and actually allows a little bit more of this lower foliage to get thicker and provide a better place for small critters to hide. Because right now, when these are alive during the summertime, they have big old leaves. They're about the size of my hand, and then they just shade out everything underneath. So it's kind of pretty thin down below. So we'll come back out here once we get this tree, and I would like to work on this at some point after it freezes, because then all the foliage will be dead and everything kind of mats down. We'll be able to see a lot easier to walk through stuff and get through with equipment. I really don't think it'll take all that long to pick up, to be honest. I always think that, and I'm always wrong. I just learned something, shows how much I know about trees here. This is not an oak tree. This is a maple tree. Silver maple, I believe. And I've got kind of a cool story. There's a lot of little baby walnut trees. Walnut tree. Those 2 are walnut trees. There's a bigger walnut tree right behind. There's like 10 little ones starting right there. All those trees were planted from themselves. This is a walnut right here. There used to be like 10 acres of walnut trees on the property that I'm standing on right now, but back during World War I, the United States government came out and they wanted to buy the wood from this particular grove to make stocks for rifles for World War I. And at the time, the owner said no, but that's always the story we've been told. And since then, those walnut trees have been gone, but a few have survived, and now they've started to reseed themselves over time. So there's actually a lot of walnut trees out here. And that's why. These big tall ones, this is what they'll grow up into being. These are all walnut trees right here. Got a walnut tree right there. And then where the pines start, I think my grandpa actually planted those, and some of those don't look like they're doing so high, especially in there. I'll be the first one to admit it. I'm a history person. It's just super interesting to me. And I like restoring things back, like this just being overrun by weeds and dead trees and stuff falling over and just not looking good. I think just by getting stuff kind of cleaned up with the mower here and getting the dead stuff picked up, we're going to bring so much more sunlight to the plants that are trying to thrive and survive. And then as well as the trees, just ones that are kind of have stuff leaning on them and is kind of hindering their growth and stuff. We're going to be able to get those to open up, sprawl out. We'll be able to trim some of the dead stuff off. That way it'll allow new growth to come into those areas. it's just gonna look really nice. And I don't know, it's like a hobby for me. It's really gratifying and it's just satisfying. From the house, that stump right there, right just behind it, is where we're going to be planting the new tree. And then all those to the right are going to be taken out because they're dead. But it's going to look kind of messy right now until we get those out. But it's right there. I don't know if I've ever pointed this out or not, but there is a lot of trees over there. There's definitely, I don't know, 3-4 acres maybe.
There we go. There we go.
You got a good grocery bag still. Throw it in the washing machine.
There you go. That's good. Yeah, that's a lot better.
Dry. One thing nice about dry dirt when you're doing this stuff.
Yeah, I was clapping. So you said we need to put something around it to hold the water in?
You put a little dam around here, and then when you water it, it holds it up there.
Okay. That's our boy, laying in the dirt.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main heated shop at my house. It's not actually called the main heated shop at all. This is just the heated shop at my house. The plan of attack. What's the best way to get started in here? I've done some looking at what we have in here. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, and some of it is good, but I don't want it in this shed. So we're gonna make a pile up front, like this tin, for example. I want it, but I don't want it in here. So we're gonna have a pile of stuff that we don't want in this building. We're gonna have a pile of trash. Once we get that done, then we'll kind of be able to maybe organize our thoughts a little bit better because we won't be looking at as much stuff. This is a tool. I don't really know what to do with it, to be honest. I'm a little torn. Dad wants it. It is a bandsaw where you can have a big old saw blade run around inside of here, and you set your piece of metal in there, and then this basically folds up, and it's kind of like a meat cutter. And we've had it for years. There we go. That end goes up, and then it just sets down on it nice and easy, and it cuts it. Nice old, made in the USA. This is the best saw cutter thing that's ever been built in the history of humanity. Problem is, we have chop saws, we have torches, we have a plasma cutter. We've had that for like 15 years, and we've never even thought about cleaning the dust off of it. If you answered get rid of it because it hasn't been used in 15 years, you're right. No. I'm running into a lot of little issues of just being on top of myself, so I decided I am going to start with the metal brake. We're gonna get that out of the back of the shop and put it in the little oil shed just beside the shop, and then I don't want to do it, but I think we're gonna have to make some shelves. Hoping I can just take the metal brake out of the back of there and then just bring it right here on the side, and we'll put it right on this sidewall. Say I hope, because that skid loader still needs to fit beside it right there. We have a tight fit back here. Let's see if I can pull that corner out, pull it out away for a little bit, then we put our forks right through that hole, and I'm probably gonna end up chaining it to the forks because this thing's top heavy and it tends to want to kick out from underneath of itself. It doesn't fall off, but it flips out. Hey, we got it to fit. We had to make sure that we had room for these cannonballs to lay over, because when you actually bend a piece of metal with this, you gotta be able to get these down. So I wanted to have enough room where we weren't pinching our hands on the wood behind. So it does kind of have to sit awkwardly away from the wall a little bit. And I know it doesn't look like it, but I measured. We're like 9 1/4 inches away from that base plate right there, and we're 9 1/2 there, so we're 1/4 inch off. But it doesn't look very straight. You can even protect it from the rain. Oh my goodness, that was dirty. Oh. By closing the door. Going against my word here a little bit, I originally did not want to put any shelves in the shop. I just wanted everything to have nice, even like vertical wall storage, so that way mice can't get under anything. We just don't have a horizontal surface to lay stuff on, because that's when things become a catch-all, which drives me nuts. But I think I'm gonna have to retract on those words a little bit. I'm finding just enough stuff on the ground in here. Things like shelves, excess wire, not things like shelves, things like tarps and jugs and just electrical supplies, stuff that we are going to use, but I know it's just gonna end up being a pile on the floor. It's gonna be a pile on the bench. I'd rather have it tucked up on the back corner in a shelf. I got some library shelves that have the ladders on the front, so we're gonna be able to get stuff up high. There's gonna be a lot of storage there. We're gonna put them up, and if I don't like them, I can always take them out, but I think it's going to be a necessary evil here. I can't find a vacuum for cleaning, so this is gonna have to work. A little bestie. right, it's been a while since I've done this. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ah, there we go. Look how good that looks. We got everything spaced apart. These are like 11 inches, so big enough we can fit stuff in, but small enough we're able to maximize the efficiency of this space. When everything's all said and done, I want this wall completely clean. So there will be nothing from the door all the way to the back shelf. Nothing at all on this wall. Then we're gonna try to utilize this corner space more efficiently, because when we pull a vehicle in, you can't get in here just due to the fact that the door doesn't go all the way to the edge. So this is kind of a weird, awkward, dead space. So I want to make an L bench in the corner. There'll actually be a stand. So there'll be a pedestal kind of sitting up there, and then we can put the air compressor there. Then that will not be on the ground. It'll be tucked up nice. Won't be very far to run wire to it for where the electricity comes into the building. But then with the wraparound bench, we're gonna have space underneath of the bench to put toolboxes and such. So kind of my goal with that is just to make everything else as open as possible, where we don't have this action going on, where we have something against the wall, and then something gets set in front of it, and then something gets set in front of it, and then something gets set in front of it, and then before we know it, we have 6 feet on this side of the building, 6 feet on that side of the building taken up, and all of a sudden we take a 32-foot wide building into a 20-foot wide actual usable space. I want to use as much of this 32 feet as we can. One area I haven't quite fully figured out what I'm going to do with yet is behind the walk-in door in the back. There needs to be space here to at least open the door to this point. So I don't want to pin anything to here. So that means I have a nice square in the corner that we can do something with. I haven't fully decided yet. Parts of me would like to keep it open, but this is another area. It's just kind of one of those efficiency things. I don't know, at least that's how my mind works. Now that I think about it, a trash can would fit here perfectly. After just a few hours, it's just about midnight now. We got it accomplished at least enough for now. I got this side clean. We got everything over here. Once we start going through this, I'll be able to sort everything on these little shelves and whatnot, and we'll put it back there if we want to keep it. Otherwise, it's going to be going bye-bye. And then all the tools will be coming across to this side once we get the bench and stuff built over here. And then there will be nothing on this wall. So when it's done, it'll kind of be opposite of what it is right now. But and that looks pretty good back there. I'm gonna run inside, grab some food, and I need to get to bed because Dad just sent a text message before it got dark. And he said, it's go time for soybeans.